Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Troy Clayton, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Warrant Officer Jared Goff. We warmly welcome the family of Private William Sidney McCarthy, whose story will be told shortly. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We also acknowledge the members of the RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching this ceremony broadcast across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Thank you. If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private William Sidney McCarthy. William McCarthy was born in 1891 in Peak Hill, New South Wales. Known affectionately as Bill, he was the youngest of 7 children born to John and Elizabeth McCarthy. Bill's mother passed away when he was 4 years old, and his family relocated to the country town of Young, where he received his education at the local convent school. On completion, he became a shearer and a labourer. In 1911, his father, John, passed away, leaving Bill to take care of the siblings. When war broke out in 1914, William McCarthy volunteered for active service in Young, undergoing a medical exam before officially enlisting in Liverpool on the 24th of November 1914. He was assigned to the 1st Battalion and began a short period of training in Australia. In February 1915, he embarked from Sydney on board the troop ship Xiong Chun, bound for Egypt. Private McCarthy reached Egypt in late March 1915 and continued training with his unit. He later took part in the landing at Gallipoli with his battalion on the 25th of April 1915. Surviving unscathed, he spent the following weeks establishing and defending front lines with his battalion. Under constant danger from enemy fire, Bill's introduction to the war was not easy. On the 2nd of May 1915, Bill's unit was sent to relieve troops from a portion of the firing line. There they were engaged in digging and improving trenches under scattered fire from Turkish lines. At some point during the day, Private Bill McCarthy went missing. His disappearance was reported later that afternoon by his commanding officer, but nothing was heard from Bill for several months. In late 1915, his brother George received a letter from one of Bill's comrades. It contained Bill's final letter to home and conveyed the news that he had been killed in action by Turkish shell fire while serving in the front lines. A court of inquiry held in January 1916 later determined that this information was likely true and ruled that Bill McCarthy had been killed in action on the 2nd of May 1915. The Young Witness newspaper later reported the young private's death, saying, "He was a general favourite and was held in high esteem of all who knew him." Bill McCarthy's body was never recovered from the battlefield. Today, he is commemorated on the Lone Pine Memorial among more than 4,000 others who have no known grave. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, amongst almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private William Sidney McCarthy, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrubber Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director and staff, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We particularly appreciate your visit, despite the challenges posed by COVID, and wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.